We live? I think I'm live. Can I see video? Can I see video one time? All right. So I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Twitch. All right. So here we go. So today we are going to be doing the next version of the Trash to Treasure Cube, where I bought another like 4,000 or 5,000 cards off eBay. I'm going to be sorting these cards and kind of talking about what I've seen. I was trying to do this as a different kind of video, so that's why we're in the middle of the job, but I'm going to just keep it going from here. I've seen some really cool older stuff. Things like this, which is Lorwyn. Don't know if you guys can catch what that is. Yeah, Morsel Hoarder. It's not really a big thing, but, you know, seeing a lot of these Lorwyn, seeing some Mirrodin, seeing a few Commander things, and I'm kind of wondering already, you know, all we need is a little bit of work. Oh, and there's Lord of the Rings. Okay. Modern Horizons 2 as well. That's good. But I think we're going to look for if there is a Persist deck, because I would really like for this to not be just like the last one. If at all possible, I'd like for this cube to have some combo potential. Oh, there's Reckless Worm again. I'm pretty sure that made the final cut, but it's been about a month since I filmed that. So welcome to anybody joining me. I'm just sorting this cube, well, sorting these cards to turn it into a cube. The video was going to be, I probably should change my YouTube title. The video was going to be the Trash Treasure. Yeah. Trash to Treasure 2. And then we just start to... So let me break down and sort the book from... Okay. So there we go on that. How's Twitch looking? Stream Manager is fine. Okay. I am live. That's all that matters, is I just want to be live on both YouTube and on Twitch. Hello to anybody who's joining now. We are sorting this big old box and seeing what we can build. I will call out interesting cards as I see them, but I'm not going to call out everyone because, obviously. Oh, there's Giant Growth. Classic in a slower, more creature-focused environment. So I'm assuming that makes the list for sure. Could also try doing something different. I've seen a few Commander cards so far. Maybe we turn this into a Commander cube. I don't have a whole lot of experience making Commander cubes, so that could be fun. Yeah, but I was originally going to do this stream as, well, this video as an ASMR, like without talking, and just have the cards, that nice that the cards make. However, my neighborhood had other plans. This is the night I have to record this, and between Trash Night, dudes with no mufflers, and well, some Ugin's Conjurant. All right, you're up here. Ugin's Conjurant. Yeah, dudes with no mufflers and some fireworks, believe it or not. We got no chance at peace. So I'm just going to do this a sleeve at a time. Oh, that's a big stack. Let's cut that in half. We are getting a lot of multicolored cards too, and some fixing. So, you know, we'll see what we can do with it. Alright, Garenberg Carver, Godo's Irregulars, Dispel, Don't think Dispel does anything here, but, you know, never know. What I'm really looking for is seeing if we get something that perhaps wasn't a money card and then becomes a money card. You know, I don't want to say the meta changes all the time, but, you know, there's a Swiftspear, Monastery Swiftspear. We got this guy again. This is great because this is the second cube in a row where we're going to be able to run this card, which is awesome because mono red, red-based aggro really loves it. There have been a couple of these MDFCs from Zendikar with a card on one side and a land on the other, so they're probably going to make the cut. Yeah, we've gotten a few commanders, especially from Baldur's Gate. So I might even make this into a commander cube with some commanders and some backgrounds. We'll see. It's really going to depend on... ooh, Supreme Will. Nice. It's really going to depend on, you know, what the cards give me. Yo, Botanical Brawler. I think that this card's like $1 or so now. I'm actually going to pull up Scryfall on my other tab. Just to check when I make these assumptions. Yeah, Botanical Brawler. This print. Okay, it's only a few cents. I thought for sure it was going to be more. But okay. It's a very good card, especially for any kind of counter-based stuff. I have also seen a lot of Innistrad, both the original and Shadows over Innistrad. So you can tell when this collection came from. I don't think we're going to find anything like really rare in here, but it looks like at least this was somebody's personal collection, not like a store that was just cracking packs, and that they're probably getting out. And this is the bulk that was left over, which is just exactly what I wanted. See, ooh, my god, third past Iconoclast. Looks like reds and spells again. Red, blues, and spells again. Another lay down arms. Great. Doubt we're going to see a cut down because this was bought way after cut down had already become a few dollar card, but who knows? Honestly, who knows? Storage land. And then a couple ultimate price. Yeah, black removal is going to be primo again. I'm alright with that. We did actually already get a board wipe too, in red. I don't know the name of it. You're welcome to look it up. But it's from the second Mirrodin block that deals 2 damage to all non-artifact creatures. So, you know, happy to see that. Obviously wouldn't mind more board wipes, especially in their normal colors. But you get what you get. That's kind of the fun of doing this. Abundant Growth. That's nice. Future Sight. Blind Phantasm is just full art. Doom Dissenter is the worst version of that effect. It'd be really cool if we could build some kind of a spells deck. I'm seeing a lot of defenders again, but I am probably not going to go that route. They would need to be a lot of defenders for me to do that again. I think it was nice and cool and interesting doing it for the first cube, just because it gives you something different to do with it. But I'm not going to retread, as it were, the area that I've already been. You know what I mean? All right. Edifice of Authority. There's another background. If we get enough backgrounds and what are they called? Classes and backgrounds, or whatever they are, we may do that route. I actually have a personal project, which is on the back burner now that I'm doing YouTube, that was going to do that. I called it Baldur's Gate Jumpstart for obvious reasons. Original Ravnica again. That's cool. Cool, cool. I was playing back then basically twice a week. I was going to FNM, which was draft, and drafting with my boys, and then we'd buy a box. First time I bought a box, actually. First time we paid the money for the whole box, and just like kind of draft in the middle of the week. God, was that a good set. Obviously, I don't know how it held up. I haven't played it in 20 years. But it gives me good memories. So I guess that's why it's a good set. Alright. Let's neaten up these piles. We're not going to go sky high with them. I've got a container just off camera that I'm going to be using to store these cards and colors. Because eventually I've got to sort them out by type, and then by mana value, and then we got to just do all of the sections on camera. So, you know, this is kind of more of a getting to know you thing. Something I have seen already, though, is a lot of fixing, which is just great. Like, that was 3 Selesnya's Sanctuary and then a Simic Growth Chamber. The bounce lands in an environment that doesn't have land destruction are so good. It's almost like you're drawing another land. So I don't think I'm going to need to supplement these at all. Ooh, Fire Streaker. I think that's actually gone on the move. Oh, it couldn't have because it just got reprinted. Oh well. See? Shows you how much I know. Sunlance. Oh, that's another one that I got, was the Elspeth's Smite, I think it's called. The one in Standard right now. That was pretty cool. Oh, man. Here's some really worn cards. One from Shards of Alara, Elder Mastery, and then one from, this is Champions of Kamigawa, No Dachi. No Dachi. Cool. But then, yes, some DMU to spin into Myth. That's cool. By the time Future Sight came out, I was kind of on my way out of the hobby. My whole friend group kind of pivoted from cards to video games. And obviously, being a young man, I followed them. So I kind of spent many, many years away from Magic. Spell Snuff. I always like the idea of that. The counter spell, if you have 5 or less life, draw a card. Obviously doesn't work in Commander. You're never going to be at that point anyway. But then for something like... Ooh, my god. That's Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Wow, the cards are from all over. So I assumed that this was somebody with an older collection was selling out, but like, now that I'm seeing Ixalan, I have no idea. Because it doesn't look like, as someone who buys a lot of bulk, it doesn't look like a bulk opener's thing. Like, you know, if you buy bulk from a store that's selling the bulk that they're opening from the cards that they're selling, you generally can feel it. You're missing the rares, you're missing the foils, and then everything else is kind of in the pack order. And this is not that. So unless they, like, mixed it up, I don't know why I'm getting some, 20-year-old cards and then some cards that are just last year printed. It's really weird. But hey, that's what makes this fun. Gotta figure out what Alara, Original Ravnica, and Innistrad all have in common. Plus, there's been a couple Masters. So, you know, those get thrown in too. But that's really the whole point of the series is, you know, I'm buying this pack of 5,000 cards to show you that it doesn't really take every card in Magic to make something fun. You know, you can build with what you have. I'm using this as a stand-in because I don't really have a collection anymore. I opened up a TCG Player store and I put almost all of my cards on it. Kept my cubes, kept a couple commander decks, kept a pioneer deck, and then like everything else is listed. So, you know, I don't have a collection, or I have, you know, the collection of over 100,000. Either way, not really fair to show you guys how to build a cube with an overwhelming number of cards. So my whole point here is that you don't have to have all the coolest stuff. You don't have to have the most powerful stuff. You don't have to have an idea of what you want to do. Just, you know, sit down, get your bulk open, find some cards that you like, and start there. Is it going to be balanced? No. Does it have to be balanced? Also no. I'm never going to let's amend that. I'm probably never going to, on one of these series, build a monocolored cube, but there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make a mono black cube or the mono blue cube. It's totally reasonable. You don't have to be nice and even. I will, just because I'm planning on giving it away, so I want whoever gets it to have their preferred playstyle in it. But when you're the one building it, there's no rules. Oh, found my first foils. M19, Graveyard Marshal. That might get going. That's a good card for 2 mana. Deputy of Attention. This is probably absolutely a slam dunk. I don't remember what the card it's a riff-off on is, but it's the one that can exile something in the same name. They can't cast it for the next turn or something like that. Very cool card. Phantasmal Dreadmaw, foil, Leech Fanatic, Arcbound Mouser, Bone Shards. This is probably going to get into the cube too. I did mention it in the series when we were doing it, that I think Bone Shards is the perfect version of that effect. You can discard a card or sacrifice a creature, but you can't pay an additional cost. Ooh, Chart a Course foil as well. It's perfect. Yo! So this can't be in the cube because it's an emblem. If we end up opening the Saheeli, this is going to get shipped in with it. But assuming that it doesn't, that actually probably has at least a couple dollars value, especially that it's in foil. Still in a bunch of Foil Town. Really cool. This is... I'm wondering if it was seeded, because they're all together. Oh, and then we get some Commander Masters or Commander Legends. You know, the ones that came pringled out of the box. Like really, really badly. Unusably bad. So they're going to get tossed, because they just can't get used. These other ones aren't bad. Yo, this, yep, Maelstrom Angel. Costs Wooburg for a 5/5 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. Mindrack Demon. Savine the Chronoclasm. Oh, this might become a commander cube. Wow. Lonis, love Lonis. Upheaval. Richard and, oh my god. I don't know if this was seeded and they wanted to make sure I was happy. Odric and other Odric. Cool. Cool. So I might turn this into a commander cube at this point. I don't have any experience with that. So if I do, I would love for my commenters to help me with that. Awakening Sun's Avatar, Red Sun Twilight, Unctus Grand Metatect, Hinata, Dawncrown, Errant and Giada, Rampaging Raptor. This card is such a card. When March of the Machine came out, I was looking ahead toward rotation and looking like, Mono Red's going to need a new finisher. So I bought a bunch. In the community, it's called speculating or specking. And I specced on about 100 of them. And then right at rotation came Bloomborough with the what is it called? Not upheaval, but anyway, it deals damage equal to non-basics. And it's like, ugh. So it's just the way better. Ooh, Sword Point Diplomacy, Bloodsoaked Champion. Wow. Oh my God, this is gonna be a hell of a cube. Sulfuric Vortex, Stronghold Arena, Resto. Oh my. So to anyone here or to anyone watching in the future, what do you think? You think I should go for Commander style? This cube could do that, honestly. Chaos Wand, Care Keep, Academy Lore Master. Wow, this would be really, really cool. Like, first of all, I've hit just a ton of rares. Again, don't know if they were seeded. They may have been. But even if they were, I'm not unhappy. Jeskai Ascendancy. The Chandra version of Pyromancer's Ascension. Wow. Cool. This is so cool. Inscription of Ruin. I always like that card. Cabal Therapist. Fancy Glissa. Not Fancy Karth. Nightmare. Garruk's Horde is just a fine finisher. And our first Planeswalkers. They're not great, but they're here. We have Kasmina, Watley, and Arlen, all from War of the Spark. The uncommon walkers. But that would be something new that the other cube didn't have, is they didn't have any Planeswalkers because, Planeswalkers don't tend to be bulk. Nahiri. Oop. Watley, Arlen, Nahiri, Davriel, another Watley, and Tybalt, the good one. Alright, looks like we're out of the rare attack. Mirren Metal. Alright. So I am thinking, and this is going to be different for me, is I've never designed a cube for Commander. So any information that you guys have would be super helpful. I know that traditionally Commander doesn't really like aggro decks, so I don't know what I'm going to use as like a limiter to make sure that the games are over by a certain point. Especially because if you're playing like a 4-player game, it's going to be Path of Ancestry. Oh, also, if we build a Commander cube, do I put multiple Path of Ancestries in it? That's a good question. Break Singleton for the mana base. Yeah, how do you do aggro in Commander? Aside from just the combo wins, because you gotta, obviously beat 4 opponents. How would you do like a damage-based aggressive deck? I don't know. So what's the thought here? Ooh, Sanguine Statuette. I like this card. Never did anything, but I like this card. Whenever you sacrifice a blood, it can turn into a creature. getting through there. Almost through the second stack, of which there are 5. I think after the second stack, I'm going to do a little bit of desk cleanup, just so that these piles don't go sky high. Static net, Scuttlemutt. What is that? Oh, okay. It's the March of Machine frame. I thought it was one of the invocations. Don't actually like that they changed the text. I know that one of the big problems with it when it was an invocation was that people didn't like the text. It was too hard to read. But now it's just like Wizards went too far in the other direction and was like, here, you guys can't read that, so let's make it super boring. This thing has me tipping it up again and again and again. Oh, there's a Blight pile. Here come the defenders. No. Only if we get, like, Pramicon or, Arcades am I going to do defenders again. Because I am actually kind of locking into the idea. We're only 2/5 of the way. We're only 40% of the way through the cube. But I'm already kind of locking into the idea that we possibly make this a commander cube. It's going to take a little bit more thinking on the idea. Because with the, Destroy Evil. Fantastic removal spell. Because with the first iteration of the Trash to Treasure cube, it was very much in my wheelhouse. I have a very much creature-based, combat-based cube that I play with and have been maintaining for years. So that was something that was already in my mind. But if I did this for Commander, it's going to be something completely different. But it's definitely an idea. One, Wizards has given us a lot of Commanders in the past few years. And two, it looks like whoever did this collection also had a bit of affinity for them. So I think... Oh, there's another Elspeth's Might. And then the Invasions. These guys are just good. If you're not running Invasions in your cube because of complexity, I understand. If you're not running them because it's a community meme, try them out. Seriously. Try them out. Invasion of Amonkhet. I think that's worth a couple bucks, or at least it was the last time I checked. Nope. Back down to nothing. Oh well. So yeah, with Wizards giving Commander so much love, and with players mostly keeping their collections for Commander, it means that this might actually be doable. Give and take, profit and loss, Showstopper, some more storage lands. Oh, someone tell 8th place Steve he doesn't have another Hashtag Oasis. Alright. Yeah, after I finish this stack, we're going to go on to the next one. And we're going to clean up the desk a bit, because this is getting a little unruly. Yeah, so anyway, if you don't play battles because the community said battles are bad, give them another shot. They work really well in a kind of limited environment, because they force you or your opponent to make a choice between attacking to put more damage on the person to kill them, or if you think the game's going to go longer, it's like, oh, do I need the value? Do I need the value over the damage? Really is a fantastic back and forth. Balustrade Spy. Too bad that's banned in Pioneer. I'd give it a shot. Thought about it the other day after I saw a Pauper one land spy deck go off online. Oh, Commander Sphere. Yep, it's looking more and more likely. Yeah, so I saw one of the Pauper, one land spy Pauper decks pop off. God, that was hard for me to say. And decided I wanted to try it in Pioneer, and lo and behold, it's on the ban list for a reason. Cast down. That'll be really good considering we're thinking about Commander. So there's going to be a bunch of creatures which you can't hit. I also found a bunch of Unburial Rites, and I put them in the black pile because obviously they're black. However, if we're talking about color identity, that's a different story. Some Go Blanks. Is that you, Connor? Adrian again. More Go Blanks. More Foundation. Cleansing Wildfire. Surprised that hasn't popped off. Dude. You just keep coming down here for hugs, don't you? Okay, come here. Let's stay off the camera, okay? Because I am talking to people online. Alright. Good night, my little guy. Get some rest. It's way too late already. Alright, give me 1 second while I clean off this mess, and then we'll start again with the box. Yeah, I don't have enough space for these cards right now, but luckily, we're almost done with the first Trash to Treasure list. I'll be pulling that name probably tonight or tomorrow. So if you still need to get your comments in, get them in. But I'll have to... Sorry. I'm getting distracted. But yeah, so I'll have to finish that up, get that all sent off, and then probably put the rest of the bulk back on eBay. Just because I don't have a place for it. But we'll see. I got some time to think about it. But so I need those boxes for this bulk. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do until then. Alright. There we go. Desk is clean. And we're ready for round 2. Oh, shit. Testing. Testing. Okay, perfect. Almost pulled out my microphone because it's in an awkward place. Alright, so there we go. Back to the grind. Ooh, Archaeomancer. Love that card. And if this is going to be a Commander cube, that's probably going to make its way in there. Just having that one ability to recur something, especially if we find something like Ephemerate. I'm not hopeful. Truly not hopeful to find an Ephemerate, but, you never know. Ooh, Pip-Boy Terramorphic Expanses. Wonder what that means. Oh, Prismatic Piper. Phoenix Chick. Now, if I had opened this last year, not that I could have, but if I had opened that last year, that probably would have been worth $1 or $2, but that version of Mono Red is dead and gone. So, those chicks are worth nothing. Yeah, I'm very, very afraid, though, of trying to do something new. Like, See, like Lava Dart, that's not going to get used in a commander style cube, but it's perfect in a um, regular, 20 card life. Maybe we do a Brawl cube. Maybe that's the idea. So that instead of being at 40 life, everybody's at 25, so it gives faster games. I mean, ultimately, it's going to be up to whoever wins it. Because again, I'm going to give this away. Big surprise. I've already got too many cubes. My wife's going to kick me out. So, can't keep it. So I'll just give it away. But, I would suggest to the person to do it with 25 life instead. Because some of these effects are just not going to matter at 40 life each. You know? Certainly not going to get enough of the cards that do damage everywhere. Oh, and now we're into Neon Dynasty, which is a really, really great set for Cube. So hopefully we get lots of those. The channel cards, the cross-contamination cards, like this is just... Neon Dynasty was really, really good for lots of environments. From the highest of the power band to the lowest. Wee Dragonauts. Okay, this Commander Planeswalker deck version cards. There was Rawls something or other. Rawls Staticaster. So that's another place that I wasn't expecting to get cards from. Ooh, another board wipe, Rising Miasma. Cool. But yeah, if we don't have anything big, not that I expect anything big, but if we don't get a big board wipe, what's to stop the Commander game from coming to a halt? You know what I mean? If we do have this go Commander style, it's like, well, what is the end? What's the stopping point? Because from what I'm fearing, it's not saying it's going to happen, but what I'm fearing is that everybody builds up their boards like in Battlecruiser Commander, and then nobody wants to kill anybody because they don't want to be the first one out. And then you don't have the board wipes to reset everybody, and you don't have the combo wins to just win the game. So you're stuck in a 2-3 hour battle? That sounds horrible. Yeah, it's going to depend on what I can find from this pile. It's a fun idea, though. It's something to keep in mind. God, it is hot under these lights. Especially with all the multicolored cards and some of the fixing. It's just doing something new. But am I doing it to be new sake? Or am I doing it because I think it might work? You know? What do you guys think out there in Streamland? Would you play a 3-hour Commander game from a bunch of chaff? Or would you much rather have it be just 1v1? You know, the way Garfield intended. Slaughter the Strong, that is another board wipe. Then Acquisition Octopus is fun. So who knows? Who knows what we're going to find? I'd say if I was guessing, I'm about halfway through. But do remember I got through probably about 1,000 cards before I turned the camera on. So we've still got a ways to go. Now we got New Capenna. That's another set that's good for a Commander theme. Those 3 color sets. You know, they're made for, well, color identity basically at this point. The shards and wedges used to be, you know, a fun little treat. Citizen's Crowbar, very good. Corpse Appraiser did things while it was in standard, I believe. Don't quote me on that though, because that standard's been a while. It's been a while since we've had it. Illuminator Virtuoso. Oh man, maybe we do a heroic style deck, and Illuminator Virtuoso is just one of those cards that, you know, you target it, it connives, and then it gets bigger. Plus lets you dig for things. Cool. A couple of these Go Shintai. Also cool. Really like to see all 5. So then that might become a deck. You know what I mean? Alright. Now we're back into Ravnica. And now we're gone again. These cards really are all over the place. Can't really say much about that. I wasn't really playing during the Battle for Zendikar era. I took a very, very long break. After leaving at around Future Sight, kind of, I then didn't come back until Dominaria. I don't even remember what I saw. I saw something. And it kind of, well, re-sparked my love for the game. You know, it was very much a throwback set to us throwback oldies, and boy, am I one of those oldies. So, wherever I saw it from, left a mark on me. Alright, and here's some dinos. Skymarcher Aspirant as well, which really would want to be in more of an aggressive style deck, or aggressive style cube. Same with Daring Buccaneer. It's a 1-mana 2/2 as long as you have other pirates. I'm not going to be building in typal synergies, but if they just kind of show up, like the Silver Guild Adept is a merfolk, if they just kind of show up, maybe we go with it. With the last cube, oh, Thrashing Brontodon, what a great card. It's a good 3-mana body, and it also just gets rid of things that are problematic. Love to see it. But with the last cube, we opened up the white vampire that searches for vampires, and I really wanted to make it work. I don't believe it made the final list just because it's a little too depowered, but something like that would be really cool to throw in, just as a little treat, you know? Otherwise, these bulk cubes, if you don't find fun little interactions like that, they can just kind of feel samey. And now we're into Dominaria. That's actually, not only is it the set that brought me back to Magic, it's also the set that got me into Cube. My wife and I bought 3 boxes. 3 boxes we bought of that set. And after that 3rd box, I'm like, we want to keep playing it, but it's getting kind of expensive. So, did some searching online and found out there's this thing called Cube, and in particular a set cube. And what did I do? I bought the missing stuff, because, you know, we had both basically opened everything at that point. But there was still a few cards that were missing. So I bought the missing cards, sleeved it up in board game sleeves, actually, not even Dragon Shields. And we played it. And we played it some more. And then I kind of got bit back into Magic full-time, you know, getting on Arena, getting on MitGo, playing my games. And, yeah, so she eventually fell away. Not that she doesn't know how to play, but, it's my hobby, not hers. But yeah, so we still have that cube. Now, I've got as many cubes as some people keep commander decks. And that's pretty funny, because you only need one. I'm showing you guys how to build a single cube from, like, a bunch of junk. But after building that Dominaria cube, I started thinking, well, red was kind of underpowered in the format. Maybe I could just spice it up a little bit. And then before you know it, my design hat is fully on. And I'm like, what else can I do? So a braid and fact or fiction. Perfect. So I just sat down and, then, well, if you know the name of my cube, you know what comes next. This thought was marinating in my head. And then COVID-19 happened. And, I'm going to get flagged on YouTube, won't I? So I made my quarantine cube. We couldn't go out, couldn't play with our friends, couldn't go to game stores. So what was I doing in my spare time? I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of spare time. I was very much still one of the, not necessary workers. What did they call us? The stupid name so that people would feel bad for us, but without the pay raise. Anyway, I was one of those people that had to go to work through the pandemic. I was in retail. So, but you have all that time afterwards that would be going to movies, going to game stores, playing with friends, what have you, that was now empty. And I sat down. I built my first cube from scratch, the quarantine cube. Linked in my profile somewhere. And that kind of set me on my path. Been part of the community since. First, I was very much a taker. You just soak in all of this information from, what was that first one called? Solely Singleton, from the 540, from Lucky Paper Radio, from Usman Jamil, from all the sources that you would go to for cube knowledge. And I soaked it all up while I was building. And, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of disseminate that knowledge in an easy to understand package. Because, I do recommend that you do all that research, that you go through all these people that are much, much, much better designers than me. Go watch them, go listen to them, go read them, follow them. But you do have to get your foot through the door. And that door is, it's got a high bar. Now I'm mixing metaphors. But anyway, it's difficult because, people think, oh, cube, I would love to do that, but expensive. Or cube, I would love to do that, but time consuming. And that's really the goal of this project, is to show that neither of those have to be true. Sure, you could spend a lot of money on cube. I certainly have. Or you can spend a lot of time on cube. Again, I definitely have. But you don't have to. This project, ooh, my God, conspiracies. Oh, man. Okay, so conspiracy is a draft-only mechanic from Conspiracy. Oh, man, I am absolutely putting all those in here. They're going to completely crack the format, and I don't care. Wow. Oh, my God. Yeah, so conspiracies are, if you don't know, conspiracies are a card type that you draft like regular cards, but instead of playing them, you put them in, think of it as a command zone. And they start and play. And then they give you some kind of benefit. Ooh, energy tap. That was a little pricey a few years ago. Let me pull some of these up. Like, Hired Heist. Hidden Agenda. Start the game with this conspiracy face down in the command zone and secretly name a card. You may turn this conspiracy face up anytime and reveal the chosen name. When a creature you control with the chosen name deals combat damage to a player, you may pay blue. If you do, draw a card. Or... okay, so this seems like they're all in that vein where you have to pay a cost. So these actually might be balanced. There are some of the more crazy ones that let you take mana off your spells that are a certain name or other such nonsense. And those can absolutely break a draft format. Kind of in a good way. Not necessarily bad. It's just something you got to be aware of. But anyway, so if we have conspiracies, we're probably going to play conspiracies. I just hope we get a few. Because I would like to put them as think of it as a sideboard of sorts. So that you don't have to play with conspiracies, but if you do, here's a packet that you seed in. It's very, very cool. Cool to find that. Honestly, it was only a matter of time until we got some, because people did like playing the conspiracy sets, but then, never went and did anything with them. So those cards are cheap. Wicked cheap. This might be the guild cube, to be honest. Seen a lot of guild stuff matters. Anyway, so the conspiracies are wicked cheap. So if you want to throw them in your own cube, with the exception of, the best ones, you can get most of them for pennies. And even the best ones are only worth a few dollars. Actually, let me pull that up on the computer once I'm done with this pile. Volcanic Hammer. Recruitment Officer, another Savannah line with upside. Yeah, see, this is why I'm thinking not to go Commander, because you're getting finding a lot of aggressive cards, and the really good Commander cards are obviously not going to be in here because people play Commander. But good draft cards, people don't play with them, so they're generally very cheap. Let me click onto this. Give me 1 second. Cool, and then we do this. Cool. That's where we need to be. There? Sure. Let's go to Scryfall. And we do T. And then we search by USD. Is this the most expensive one? No, that's the least expensive. So we go ascending? No, descending. So WorldKnit is the most expensive at 36 cents. Sovereign's Realm, that's one of the ones I was thinking about. 27 cents. So you get these cards for pennies. Pennies. And they will give you a really good time. Bonesaw. Wonder if I'm going to find any Shuko. That was a bulk card for 20 years. And then Nadu. And now I think it's settled to $4 or $5. Ooh, I did see that, didn't I? Yep. Grumgully the Generous. We have gotten some Persist cards already. So that plus this equal combo. So that is probably going to make its way into the environment too. I'm not against combo as a player, because I very much enjoy the playstyle. But even in a lower power cube, I just don't see why you would not run combo. People are generally coming from the, Commander mentality. A lot of people get introduced to Magic through Commander, and they think that's the way the game's supposed to be played. So like, oh, combo is bad because it ends the game out of nowhere. And it's like, well, combo is actually one of the 4 archetypes in Magic. There's aggro, which is not present in Commander. There's control. There's midrange. And then there's combo, which, again, not really allowed in Commander. So Commander only really, like, there's a certain type of player. I'm not going to super generalize, but there's a certain type of player that thinks the entire idea of Magic is to put bigger and bigger things onto the field. I am not that person. I played before Commander existed. I drafted twice a week, like I said before. You know, I played Emperor games. I played Star Magic. You know, we played Kitchen Table. We played Standard when Affinity was a thing. That was awful. But anyway, you know, we played a lot of competitive, semi-competitive, you know, Magic. And then I come back and it's like, oh, everything's Commander and Commander players can't take a loss. It's like, well, that kind of takes away some of the magic, to lack of a better term, of the game. Anyway, let me get off my high horse for a minute. Go back to the cards I'm going through. We're back into, what is that set called? The second Ixalan set. There have been a lot of these cards I've been just kind of casually going through. Makes me wonder if we can sneak dinos in. People like dinos. We've had a few. There's also some cave stuff, but I haven't seen a single cave. And there's some, what are those called? Guildgate cards too. But those, we did find a bunch of Guildgates. Ooh, second to last stack now. Or penultimate stack if you're feeling fancy. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil, Forgotten Monument. There's a cave. There we go. The entire cave archetype supported by one card. That said, this Ruin Lurker bat is absolutely getting in. It's just so solid. Oh, that is a cave too. That was Hidden Volcano. It's one of the, what they call Discover lands. Discover 4. So you can get some decently powerful stuff. Kind of, you know, Jesus take the wheel. But, you know, by the time you're cracking that, you're looking for, at least in a draft environment, you're looking for action. You know, you played your hand out, you and your opponent are top decking, and you're like, okay, I just need something, anything, to flip the script here. So you sacrifice a land and you tap 1,000,000 mana, and you see what the deck gives you. Triton Fortune Hunter. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Triton Fortune Hunter, draw a card. So Heroic might also be a theme we want to go with. It's going to depend on how many we get. But considering that that is the second, like, really good Heroic style card, I'm really looking for Favored Hoplite from White, or the red one that makes dudes. If we can find either of them, it'd be a slam dunk archetype. More gates, and I definitely saw the gate. Yep, gatekeeper gargoyle. That's cool. If we can maybe get the trample one, is it Gatekeeper Colossus? That'd be pretty awesome to see too, because I have no doubt in my mind one of the cycles of lands, at least one, is going to be Gates. It's funny, this pile is so all over the place. We're getting cards from all three Ravnica sets. Or blocks, I should say. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a cleanup after I finish these cards, because it's getting a little unwieldy. Cathartic Reunion. Just another solid card. Okay, I will be right back. I'm just going to clean up these cards, and we're going to finish up the pile. Seems like at this point we have slightly more black than everything else, but it's not by a whole lot, so I'm not too worried. That's what I mean. Like, you don't have to have everything even if you don't have them. Red, too. We've got a lot of red. Is this all lands? It is. Sorry, getting a little confused. It's been a long day of card store stuff. So, you know, plus finishing up that video that I just posted on my YouTube, all about how to Houseman draft, which is a great draft environment for 2 people. If you're not familiar with how to draft with a very small amount of people, absolutely go give it a check out. Anyway, let's get back to the work here. White. Taxong Pup. And we're back on the new Innistrad. Blue. Multicolor blue. Vanishing Slash. Scryfish. Just seeing Thief could be a fun card if we end up in that Spellsies kind of deck. Patron of the Valiant. We do need some finishers. That's not a bad one. This pile, though, let me tell you. Just kind of going through it as much as I have. I'm very, very happy with what I found. It's exactly the kind of variety that I was looking for. The worst thing that could have happened when you buy one of these bulk lots is it comes from a breaker. And then you get like 3 sets and they're all, you know, they're all just the same cards over and over and over again. And I do it as a job. I buy bulk online and then I break it down and resell it. So I'm used to it. But if that had happened on one of these kind of styles, if for one of these videos, I'd basically have to just scrap it and go again. Because there's no way you can make a playable cube that's fun when you've only got a few sets worth of commons and uncommons. You know what I mean? So, anyway, getting off topic here. We're going to continue sorting out the rest of these cards and hopefully in that last stack, there are sets I haven't seen yet. Ooh, pretty. Agar, the Freezing Flame Showcase from Kaldheim. I like the Kaldheim Showcase ones more than I like when they redid it on March of Machine, when they did the showcase again. Damn. I just think it was not lazy, that's the wrong word, but when they did that as like a swan song, as it were, it lacked something. There was just something missing from when they did it the first time. And the Kaldheim ones were, I think, my favorite of the original, the new frame treatment. You know, Eldraine came out, that's pretty cool. Wasn't really a fan of Theros. But, you know, Zendikar was really cool. So was Kaldheim. In my opinion. I mean, obviously, we all have our own artistic tastes. But my favorite is probably the Dominaria Stained Glass. Oh. Got some Japanese. I think. It's before they started putting the language on the card. I don't think it's Chinese, but either way, gonna have to scrap that. Well, hello, Recross the Paths. Welcome to the stream. And yes, I am actually, that's exactly what I'm doing here. I bought a new box for the next series, and I was going to do something different with the opening, but that kind of fell through. So I figured, what the hell? Fire up the stream and do it all on camera. We're about 80% through at this point. There have been a lot of cool sets, including all 3 Ravnica blocks, and some Kamigawa, some Innistrad, original and Shadows over Innistrad, and Midnight Hunt and Vow. So, you know, getting a really good taste of a bunch of different Magic. Not to mention things like Iconic Masters, or whatever this starter set is that I'm pulling out right now. M with a circle, if you know what that is. Can't even catch that. Oh well. Some Strixhaven. Just a lot of solid cards, including the Dominic Mayer, a Braid art, which is just, he may be my current favorite artist right now, working in Magic. Him, Wiley Beckert, there's a few others too, but just, you know, those the ones that aren't afraid to put their own style in it. Do you have a favorite artist in Magic right now? One that, if you could, you'd build a whole deck or cube after? Alright, while I'm doing that, get some more cards. Is that it for this stack? Yep. Alright. I'm wondering if that's the delay, or if I scared him away with how forward I was. God, we are getting a lot of good lands, both fixing and utility, so I wonder what we're going to do about that. I think we got all of the Kaldheim lands. Oh, those are... You know what, Niles Ham, I completely blew my mind. Not blew my mind, but you know what I mean. Completely out of the mind. As soon as that Secret Lair dropped a couple of years back, I had to get it. The one with the tireless tracker and the proliferate thing. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. But, you know, there are really so many, as you said, there are so many good artists working in the game. You know, it kills me when certain people have said that, you know, the art is all kind of samey, or it's the Magic style, because it's like, you know, maybe 2016, 2017, I absolutely would have believed that. But right now, Wizards has a bunch of really unique artists working, and they are making the game look so good. Alright, we are down to the last stack of probably 1,000. For the record, since you just joined us, I assumed it was about 5,000 cards when I started. So this is slightly bigger than the last one. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll open Lotus Field. That's definitely a bulk card, right? Alright. Some more Modern Horizons, which is always good to see. All of the Modern Horizon sets, for all of the flack they get, are really excellent to cube with. They make really, really good glue cards because they're not really attached to any specific archetype. They really fill in very well. What is this set? DDR, so it's one of the dual decks. It looks like a dragon head ate a treasure chest. I don't know that one. It's one of the more recent ones, though, before they stopped printing them. So. Despise. Not really the kind of discard black needs, but, you know, considering I'm not going to have my pick of the litter. Zendikar versus Eldrazi. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, that's... I got... When I was getting my wife into it, I bought the Goblins versus Merfolk, I think it was. And that was fun for a little while. Well, it was fun until, you know, we kind of got a handle on the decks, and then it became samey, but, you know, that's any kind of dual deck. And it kind of led me to wanting to buy and build more and more. And there's All Will Be One, which I hadn't seen until this point. Some Commander Legends. Earlier on in the stream, I was toying with making this a Commander cube, but the problem for me is I don't have any experience building a Commander cube, so I would definitely be leaning onto my audience to help. Just because, you know, I kind of had an idea what I was doing with the creature combat cube that the first one was based off of. But if we went with something like Commander, you know, I don't, believe it or not, I am one of those Magic players that don't play it all that much. I'm a very limited focused player, so I don't play a lot of Commander, so I don't even have that kind of experience. I do have some decks, and they are fun, but for the most part, I don't have the experience that would let me really design something like that well. Millstone, there we go. Classic WinCon, right? Just throw a Millstone in your deck and counter and kill everything else. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was afraid of. The comment is Commander cubes can be tough, generally want decks to be bigger, so drafts and games tend to be longer. And that's kind of what I'm afraid of, because I know that given cards, like if you were building it from scratch, you'd be able to put in things like the board wipes and, you know, your combo pieces or what have you to make sure the game's ended. And that's just not going to be present here. You also get to make decisions about how you want to handle color identity and picking commanders. Okay, so the reason that this came up in the first place was very early on. I picked up a lot of, what were those called? Background commanders, the Commander Baldur's Gate cards. I got a bunch of those commanders and a bunch of the backgrounds themselves. So I kind of was toying with the idea of making this into that cube. You have a few multicolored legends, and then otherwise you're going to be doing a background commander style thing. Might be a little restrictive, but again, that's kind of why it was just a thought. All right. Back to Champions of Kamigawa with more Nodachi. Nodachi. And some more dinos. There are a lot of multicolored cards in this pile, too. So that kind of has me not wanting to do Commander. With this amount of multicolor, custom rule all monocolor legends. Yeah, that's also something I've seen a lot of, is letting them all partner up. Letting all monocolored legends partner up. So that way they're at least not a burned choice. Oh, you may have not been here for it, but I'm going to show you something cool that we found. There was a very small selection of conspiracies. So they're definitely going in. Possibly as a secondary pack, something that's not part of the full 360, but just gets thrown in. Because, I mean, come on now. There's no better place to run conspiracies than Cube. Plus, none of those are the broken ones. All of those take a mana of a certain color to activate. So, you know, you're not gonna make some infinite combo on turn 2 kind of bull. Yeah, Chaos Draft. I haven't done that in a hot minute. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite set to Chaos Draft? I think before the remaster came out, mine would have been Time Spiral. Just because it has so many different mechanics and themes going for it. So let's say Time Spiral Remaster. You can get your hands on those packs fairly cheap. Stoke the Flames. Ooh. Kami of Whispered Hope. I think this is like a $2 card. See, this is one of those things that sometimes you just find some really cool stuff among the bulk. Last time it was Cut Down. This time it's that Kami. Because generally, when people see uncommons and commons, they just kind of loop them all together. So if you can find someone who doesn't really know what they're dealing with, you can make out like a bandit. Corset. Oh, see, now you're one of those smart players. The comment was, I tend to bring at least one Corset to a Chaos Draft if I have the opportunity. They're chock full of key fixing, removal, and non-mind warping effects to balance everything out. And that is a really solid thing to bring to a Chaos Draft. Lagrella the Magpie. See, this is, again, one of those reasons why I think Commander might be the way for this. But anyway, that's just so utilitarian. That's a very good way to do it. I'm here for maximum chaos. I'm here for a fun time, not a long time. You know what I mean? But like I said, I haven't done Chaos Draft in a hot minute. So I'm going to say ever since I really got into Cube, it's been harder and harder to convince myself to even do it. Anax, Harden the Forge. It's a legendary and an enchantment. Skymarch Bloodletter. All right. We're getting down there. Getting through. Oh, got a handwritten note. Now I'm really thinking this was somebody's collection. We got our handwritten note of... Oh, can't see that, huh? Theros. Yeah, I definitely... Like I said early on, I don't think this was somebody who cracks these packs and opens them. This is somebody who had a collection, possibly saved a deck or two, sold out their expensive cards somewhere else, and just packed up all the bulk for the rest. I got this for a very good price. So, I'm pretty happy. Picture of the Pantheon. All right. Come on. Oh, this is a bit of a mess. So if you've never done this, I absolutely would recommend trying this out. Just go for it. I mean, you can get these on eBay for like 40 to 50 bucks and just really dig right in. It's like a organized chaos. You know, if I wasn't doing this on camera, it'd take me probably about a week to slim this down, and then bam, you have a completely unique environment. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's the way the series was born actually was because of bulk. I was sorting some bulk purchase I had made where I was taking the value out, listing the value, and, you know, putting the rest in a box on my shelf. And I was looking, and it's like, oh, this is, you know, a Thraben Inspector and a bunch of really low mana value cards that are really good in draft, but like no commander deck wants them. So I'm sitting there like, you know, this would, Seething Song. This would probably be really fun to cube as. And then that kind of idea sat in the back of my head for about a year. And every time I would open a new box, I'd say to my wife that, you know, I really should make a cube out of these one day. So by the time I had the idea to start up a YouTube, it's like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to start with. Because I think it's a really cool idea. Dead weight. Some more. Is that Champions of Kamigawa? This is Saviors? It's the one with the shuriken. I think that's Saviors. Some Lorwyn. Just cards from all over. Some of them sleeved, some of them not. What else do we have here? M19, M20. Yeah, really, just the... It's really a strange collection, but that's going to make building something cohesive really fun. Something else I saw earlier that I'm going to bring up again is I saw a few... what is that card called? Balustrade Spy. I saw a few of them, and then a few of the 4 mana, deal 3 damage when it comes out of the deck card. And it's like, oh, that could be a cool idea too. Probably not, because unlike Constructed, you can't build the deck that you want to play. You kind of have to try to. So, probably not worth it, but it's a thought. Talon of Pain. Probably too slow, but I have fond memories of that card. Casual only, but you know. I could do it right here. I'm happy to answer. Yeah, the question is, you have a question about my process in the first Trash to Treasure. I would love to answer. So yeah, go ahead and hit me up. I will give you a little bit of a preface, though. It was strongly based off my combat cube. I had experience with playing a very creature-forward cube, so building... It's not that I built it one for one, but having a very similar playstyle made the entire building process easy. You know, I already had a few years of knowledge and iteration on that cube before I opened up the first bulk box. But yeah, otherwise, fire away. Malicious Malfunction. There's a board wipe. Getting close to the end here. Thankfully. And then I'm going to sort them into type off camera, probably while watching Loading Ready Run's new video, the bar cube. Short version is I run cube focus. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, actually, then you should be able to message me. Hit me up. I'm interested. It's definitely going to be my first experience on a podcast, so I'm honored. And I also don't know what I'm going to do. But that sounds very cool. Oh, I have heard of you. We're across the paths. Okay. I'll definitely be down for setting up something. It's just a little difficult for my filming time, so just shoot me a message and we'll figure something out. Reckless Worm making its appearance again. Let's do that whole madness. Run it back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my YouTube email is linked to my YouTube. If not, let me know, and I will definitely fix that so that you can hit me up. But I'm pretty sure it is. Strategic planning. Nice. Spell Satchel. I like that in... Well, I like that in Arena on Spellslinger type commander decks, or brawl decks is what they're called there. There's not a whole lot of 2-mana ramp on Arena, so that's one of the more fun ways to do it. Run Oops All Spells and throw that purse in. And there's my boy. My favorite of the commanders from Commander Legends Battles of Baldur's Gate is Wilson. This bear does it all. Love him. Alright, let's see what we got left. Just a handful. Follow the Gavel, Chemist's Trick, Centaur Herald, and Healer. Alright. Well, thank you for your well wishes. Absolutely hit me up and we'll figure something out at some point. And, yeah, I absolutely agree. This is I mean, I am going to have a video going on how I find my bulk, but this is exactly the kind of bulk you want to find. Stuff from all over the Magic timeline so that you get to play with what you want to do. Look at this. Scarscale Ritual. So, put a -1/-1 crown on a creature you control, draw 2 cards, and then plus we have the thing from Eldraine, the red-green goblin that puts +1/+1 counters on things when they enter. And then we have a bunch of persist creatures. Maybe there's something there. Yeah, there's a lot to go through, and the next time you guys will see it will be after it's been cleaned up a little bit. I am going to go off camera to sort it by type of card, just because there's a lot of work left to do. So thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you, Across the Paths, for sticking with me for the past half hour or so. And I'll talk to all you soon. Have a great night. Whew! Oh my God.